Yes, friends, we are currently in the Lights tab. In the previous lesson, we covered the Objects section. In the Lights tab, when you click on the light, that is, when you click on the light menu, you can use all the lights that appear below in your scene. It is beneficial for the environment to be a bit dark for the light to appear more effective. That's why I want to move on to the Sunrise section. From here, from the HDR section, I am moving to the Sunrise Glow section, friends. A bit of twilight in the air causes the lights to appear more clearly. Therefore, the type of light we call omnidirect light, friends, is a circular type of light and provides circular illumination. It illuminates the area around it in a circular manner. Look, just like this. As we mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, when each object is selected, there is an intensity and some circular rotation setting here. Look, I can change the properties of each light from the menu on the right. This part shows the lights. It shows me where and how much of an effect it will create. It shows how many meters of an area it covers here. Look, a large area of 10 meters, almost a 10-meter area. Let's make it 10 meters like this. We can see that it covers the area. The intensity is shown by the lumen value here. If you increase it, you apply a lot of intensity. Look, as you can see, I'm turning off the light like this. When you enable the shadow part, you can see the shadows of the objects here. Normally, when you turn off the shadow part, the shadows of the objects are not visible, friends. This sign does not appear. You need to activate it yourself. When you activate it, you can see that a shadow is active like this. Friends. Besides this, we can use all the lights we see on the side. As the name suggests, spotlight means spotlight. Friends, let's do it like this. Let me bring this right over the object. There is a nice feature here. In spotlights, there is a haze effect, which we call fog. You can add fog to the lights. Look, I say enable, as you can see. Here, you can increase or decrease the intensity of this fog to create different environments and ambiances. There will also be animation. It looks very nice, friends. Of course, even though such an image, even though it's nice. The effects added on top cause your processor and graphics card to be really heavily utilized. Here, in the color section, you can adjust the temperature value. As you can see, friends. Generally, values between 5500 and 6500 are where we get a quality image that is quite above average. When you go below these values, you can use them for more different images. Since the color of the light changes the feeling there, it will be beneficial for you to change the light color according to the ambience and working environment. Because when designing something different in a horror movie, in more forest-like parts, it's different. You can use light beams and light colors. In other words, there are colors that change emotions and feelings. You can also find information about colors on Google. Because colors have a nature of feeling, those colors are completed within the work. They completely change the feeling of the viewer. Yes, an important part is the projector, light coming to Twinmotion 2025. So here you can look anywhere here. By adding a video, here you can play the video part here. When you come to the image video section here, friends, by clicking on this blue part, let's add a video of the Burj Khalifa from here by saying open. Look, did you see? Actually, you can play videos within the program. To do this, if you're wondering how to do it or where to use it, let's find a wall. That is, let's draw a box. And if you want, let's bring a box here. Look at the box carefully like this. Let's have a 1 meter box. And let's extend it using the scale tools like this. Let's move it upwards, friends. Like this. And let's slide it over here using the moon command. Again, using the rotate command, I bring it to exactly 90 degrees, like this. And by taking it like this, as you can see, you can create a situation as if you are projecting a film on the wall. Let's enlarge it a bit more with the scale tool, friends. Let's do it like this. And let's do it a bit like this. As you can see from here, let's increase its intensity, like this. In this way, you can adjust the clarity and size to project onto the wall like this. So, Here you create an atmosphere as if you are showing a video to the user. You can generally use this in places like televisions. You can use it in places where there is a projector. You have the opportunity to use many features in this way, friends. When I go back, let's delete this in the light section. What else is there? There is area light. Area light means a square light source. Friends, we will already use this in various objects. This is the definition of the light. This is actually how it looks. From here, by adjusting the height and width and setting the intensity, you can define the light from here. Again, as with all lights, there is a temperature value here. You have the ability to change its color from here. You also have the ability to rotate it with rotate in this way if you want to reflect it to a different place. From the ambiance section, I move to the matching section. Let's do something like this in the matching section, friends. Completely as you can see, this is such a situation. Again, we have yes lights that work just like spotlights, but you can consider them as decorative lights placed on the sides, and you can also enable fog and other elements with these. There are decorative lights used in these cabinets and at the base of walls, and there are lights that sweep upwards in outdoor settings. You have the opportunity to use them in this way. Again, when you use these, you can adjust the angle and change the feature to utilize the spreading feature. Feel free to play around with the settings here because they won't break. You can experiment in detail until you find the setting you want. You have the opportunity to play with these parts to create the ambiance you want. There are many types of lights here, and we have seen them.